Based in Milan, Italy, Ubik Visual Effects produces visual effects and animation for TV commercials, cinema, television, and amusement parks. Speaking and moving like a human, Carletto lives in the real world and also interacts with real people. Originally a puppet created and developed in 1996 by Jim Henson Studios. For many years, Carletto was animated by the studio's English animation team in all of Sofficini's advertising productions. Our team of modelers and digital artists recreated the character on the exact basis of the original live-action puppet. Convinced by the excellent communication potential of the 3D Carletto, the client recently involved us in a new challenge: celebrate 45 years of the Sofficini product. The idea was to offer Carletto's loyal public a mini-series of 5 commercials, which see the much-loved protagonist remembering himself in previous decades. Carletto, rummaging around in the attic, comes across a photo album of past memories and is duly projected back into the 70s, the 80s, 90s, and 2000s to grapple with iconic situations from each and every era. The challenge was to conceive and create a minute and a half of 3D character animation in just 2 months, but all the while keeping the quality and artistic standard high, despite the episodes being intended only for web and social channels, and therefore with a considerably lower budget than that of TVC productions. Being impossible both in terms of time and cost to produce the commercials according to our usual production pipeline, we started looking for an alternative production method. Although we had had some experience using motion capture in the past, it had always been for human animations and never characters. Following some in-depth research into online blogs and demos, we realized that of the many hardware and software options available, the right ones for our needs would be Noitum's Perception Neuron Pro and Reallusion's iClone, and so we decided to test them. Our key concern was transferring the model from Maya to iClone, and in particular, the somewhat complex facial and body rigs. What would the result be? To find out, we began to carry out tests using a copy of the basic 3D model without optimizations, in order to understand where to intervene, in order to adapt the characteristics of our character to the technical needs of the software. The first animation tests gave satisfying results from the outset, and from these it was easy to understand how and where to intervene to correct the defects caused by overly complex models and rigs. Then, after making all the necessary corrections, we immediately moved on to the animations. These had to restore Carletto's personality, his typical funny and somewhat clumsy gestures, accentuated by the fact that the original character is a puppet. Both the client and the agency's creative directors loved the first tests, and so production was immediately begun. The realization of each 15-20-second episode with simple or complex actions, lip sync, the addition of props, accessories, and clothes on the animation model took on average a full week's work. An extraordinary result when compared to the animation timing of our animators with Maya. Moreover, given the differences between Maya animations and iClone, combining the two was no surefire certainty. However, we are pleased to say that both from a technical point of view, for the ease and versatility of the hardware and software used, and for the final results of the animations produced, as a solution it proved both highly effective and economical. Indeed, the final result so convinced the client, they even decided to use the animations of the character for the TV commercials currently on air, combining them with the animated character in a traditional way. For us, this was a challenge that had been fully met. Thank you, Perception Neuron Pro and iClone.